आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनकही कहानियाँ। आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनसुनी कहानियाँ। एक नई दुनिया की आवाज़ आपकी आवाज़, विज्ञान की आवाज़, की आवाज़।
Celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we bring you a podcast series on STEM popularization, science, technology, engineering, mathematics and medicine, supported and catalyzed by the National Council for Science and Technology Communication, Government of India. This program is produced by Media for Community Foundation. Creative content and technical support is given by Salam Namaste Community Radio, Noida.
एक नई दुनिया की आवाज़ आपकी आवाज़, विज्ञान की आवाज़, की आवाज़, की आवाज़।
A big hello to all our listeners. Welcome to an enriching podcast series, Vigyan Ki Awaaz. This podcast series focuses on STEM popularization, science, technology, engineering, mathematics and medicine. Dear listeners, in this episode, our guest for the day is Dr. Drbrijesh Pandey. Sir is currently serving as the Executive Director of the Indian National Science Academy, New Delhi. In addition, he is the coordinator of the INSA Center for Science and Technology Policy and the principal investigator of the DST Center for Policy Research. Under his visionary leadership, he spearheads various DST-funded projects, contributing significantly to policy research and science governance. Prior to his tenure at INSA, Dr. Pandey was an professor in the Department of Applied Sciences at Symbiosis Institute of Technology, Pune, where he made substantial contributions to physics education and research. Dr. Pandey earned his PhD in physics from the Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Kanpur, in 2008. A dedicated educator, he has been actively involved in teaching since 2007, developing over 500 small demonstration experiments to enhance classroom learning. His passion for education extends beyond traditional teaching methods, as he has conducted numerous workshops to train teachers in innovative pedagogy using demonstration-based teaching learning techniques. Beyond academia, Dr. Pandey has played a pivotal role in several national-level committees. He has served as a member of the Maharashtra State Board Physics Book Revision Committee and is serving as the controller of examinations for the Vidyarthi Vigyan Manthan, an initiative by Vigyan Prasar and Vigyan Bharati. Additionally, he is the key coordinator for the Question Bank Preparation Committee constituted by CBSE New Delhi. With an extensive research portfolio, Dr. Pandey has published 51 papers in reputed national and international journals. His research interests encompass nanophase materials, exchange bias in thin films, and the magnetic properties of alloys and thin films, contributing to significant advancements in material science. In recognition of his outstanding contributions to science education and outreach, Dr. Pandey has been honored with the prestigious Dr. Vikram Sarabhai National Award for Popularization of Science through his dedication to research, education, and science communication. He continues to inspire students, educators, and policy makers across the country. Dear listeners, in Vigyan Ki Awaaz today, we have Dr. Drbrijesh Pandey with us, Executive Director at the International Science Academy, New Delhi. So we welcome you to Vigyan Ki Awaaz, and for the listeners, we request you to tell us a little about yourself.
Namaskar. In Vigyan Ki Awaaz, I'm working as Executive Director at Indian National Science Academy. So my journey is very eventful, I can say. I started my schooling in a village area, you can say in eastern UP, in Kushinagar district, in a completely village school where I can say I cannot study in Hindi, but in fact in Bhojpuri. And then I come to, after 12th, come to IIT Kanpur directly by doing 1 year coaching. And at IIT Kanpur, there is a paradigm shift, I can say. A Hindi medium student, I can say a Bhojpuri medium student, and completely there as an English medium whole environment. That was a very, very challenging for me, a person who has just came from a village background and study at IIT Kanpur. So, what I can say and what I have learned in my whole life, if you have solid knowledge of your subject and you are a determined person to achieve your goals, language is not the barrier to study science or to study mathematics. Language is nothing. You can migrate to any time to any language, like from Bhojpuri to Hindi or from Hindi to English or any other language. But the original thing is, you have to have solid knowledge of your subject, whatever the subject you are selecting. I was from physics background, physics area. Either you have a physics or you have mathematics or chemistry or any English, engineering. So you need to focus on our study and go ahead, whatever you think you want to do. You have to decide, you have to work for that, and you have to achieve it.
Thank you so much, sir. We would request you to tell us, our listeners, currently in which capacity you are contributing to the country.
Yes, currently Academy is there to nurture the science in India and scientists. Academy is usually facilitating our scientists for their achievement. So before that, I was a professor in physics and teaching physics, doing research. My research is initially on study the, what I can say, defect in the alloys. Sometimes we assume that any defect is not very good for either material or for anything. But once you study the defects are such things which modify completely the physical or chemical property or mechanical property of the material. So I studied in the beginning that is material, and if you introduce some kind of defect, control defect like vacancies or voids, what kind of this defect is going to produce their property. And I was studying in iron, and what I found at that time, that by changing the nature of vacancy, introducing the different vacancies, the environment which is there near the iron, that can be altered. And by altering that environment like iron, and let us say I have aluminum or titanium, if aluminum or titanium is changed in the near vicinity, their magnetic properties completely change. So how many aluminum or how many titanium is changed in the near vicinity of iron, and how it is going to change the magnetic properties, that I studied in detail. I started working in the thin film and magnetism in thin films. Nowadays, if you can see, there are certain memory devices, and in memory devices you see, 20 years ago you have very big memory devices, but now you have very small chip, and that storage capacity is not even in GB, but it reaches up to terabyte. So that magnetic property of thin film is controlling this memory devices. So initially it is a perpendicular magnetic anisotropy, perpendicular magnetic anisotropy, all this magnetic anisotropy. This is controlling the magnetic storage properties. So some of my work is in this area also.
Sir, please share with us, how is this field contributing to India's growth and development?
See, as I said, this magnetic multi-layers, where one layer is magnetic, another is non-magnetic. And then by this, creating these multi-layers, one can modify, or you can say control. And today, there are a lot of memory devices which is very, very small and storing a lot of data. So this is, you can say, not in India, throughout the world. Nowadays, data storage and magnetic memory devices, these are the very crucial and essential part. So in this, lot of research works are going on. Different kind of magnetic and non-magnetic materials are used to make the interface and make the memory devices. So this is, of course, is a very big and good area for Viksit Bharat.
Dear listeners, we take a break at this enriching conversation with Dr. Drbrijesh Pandey, Executive Director at the Indian National Science Academy, New Delhi. In the next part of this episode, catch more insightful discussions about science and the world of science. In the next episode, we shall bring to you more interesting discussions with Dr. Drbrijesh Pandey, his colorful contributions in the field of science and his passion for the field. Until and up to we meet in the next episode, please take care of yourself, stay healthy, and keep listening to Vigyan Ki Awaaz. Vigyan Ki Awaaz, a podcast series to popularize STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medicine.
आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनकही कहानियाँ। आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनसुनी कहानियाँ। एक नई दुनिया की आवाज़ आपकी आवाज़, विज्ञान की आवाज़, की आवाज़।
Celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we bring you a podcast series on STEM popularization, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medicine, supported and catalyzed by the National Council for Science and Technology Communication, Government of India. This program is produced by Media for Community Foundation. Creative content and technical support is given by Salam Namaste Community Radio, Noida.
एक नई दुनिया की आवाज़ आपकी आवाज़, विज्ञान की आवाज़, की आवाज़, की आवाज़।
A big hello to all our listeners. Welcome to an enriching podcast series, Vigyan Ki Awaaz. This podcast series focuses on STEM popularization, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medicine.